Here we are, Astroid Lily. Thank you for joining. Miss GFO's behind the playlist, and this is what it is. We want to know what I want to know, all about the artists that I play on the playlist. And you are artists that I play on the playlist. Astroid Lily! Woo! Astroid Lily is you two.
Yeah.
And we have
Joe.
And we have
Spiros.
I'm glad you said it first. Do you find people don't always know how to pronounce it?
Oh, most of the time. It's usually Spiro, Spiros, Spiral, Spirit. Spirit is awesome though.
I was literally about to say which one's your favourite.
I would love, of the wrong ones,
Yeah.
I would love to be called Spirit.
Spirit. Well, just do it.
Because it's really cool. So yeah, I get that a lot.
Alright, so let's get down to the grittiness of it. So, where did you meet? Where did you start? Give us the background of Astroid Lily.
You have better memory about this?
Well, I don't remember what year it was because I'm very bad with years.
I found that picture the other day. The picture
That
is
was
from
from
22?
21?
21?
I
Yeah.
think.
So must have been 4 years
Yeah.
ago.
So
Okay.
you posted an ad on Star now, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I posted something about...
Win a free session with me. or
Yeah,
something.
well, it wasn't phrased like that. But I'm a music producer.
Right.
That's actually my job. And
right.
and sometimes, the best way to get more people to work with you is to give them a freebie. They see what they can get in, and also you get more portfolio and all that kind of stuff.
And you meet people.
Yes.
And you meet creative people. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so you
Go
posted
on.
that. I applied or whatever. And then you were like, yeah, you won. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, this seems dodgy as hell. But I was, so
Did
I
you think it seemed dodgy?
don't you remember I sent you I don't know if it was like a voice note, but I was like, sorry, but why? I'm like, nothing is free in life. What do you
free
have
part
from
of it.
gain? Why do you have to gain from this?
Uh-huh.
And you literally sent a voice note kind of explaining what you just explained.
Okay.
The whole it's an opportunity to meet new people, and
Was that
if you
professional?
like working with me, you might hire me for another song. So I was like, okay, does sound like that's a good point. But I was still like, when I went to the studio, I was like, to my boyfriend, I was like, this address, if I don't come home, this is where I'm going. Call the police.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
we
mean,
always go straight to the
You've got me
nightmare
saved.
stories.
Yeah.
No, I get
But then you weren't a creep, and you
Yeah.
didn't murder me, and we did instant coffee, which was my
Yes,
first one,
that was the song she did.
which is nothing like Asteroid Lily, I would say.
Yeah, it's completely different. Like the way I listened to that song, and that's kind of what we did. I was like, oh, this is like it's like a drum and bass song, I was like, if we had a great guitar player right now, which we didn't, and it could be like nice and soft and sung beautifully, very, very the Carpenters kind of, very, very melodic. So we did that with a fake guitar.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were both happy with it. It's still there. It did well.
Yeah.
It's one of the most successful tracks we've done together.
The second one is actually my most played song. Yeah, so I got the freebie, and then, as you predicted, I wanted to hire you for a second song.
So it works.
It did work.
I said that to the camera.
Like, ooh.
For further reviews. So these songs are under the artist Jo.
I see.
So that's her solo stuff.
Yeah.
And then after we did the second one of her songs, we kind of went our separate ways.
I said to you, I feel like, because I don't play an instrument, and I was like, well, I kind of feel like I need a guitarist in my life, because that's kind of the vibe of my music. And you're like, why don't you do like I did? Post an ad on Star now.
Is that how you found your...
That's how I found Rookie, yeah.
And she did.
So I
She find a
did.
guitar player.
I took your advice, and then I found Ricky B, who's a guitarist and also produces music. So we still work together as well, but under Joe. So we did a few songs, and then I believe I mean, we still followed each other on Instagram and stuff. And then you
Yes.
contacted me again, asking if instead of like me hiring you, if I wanted to collaborate.
What for love song?
Yeah, you were doing like you were
I-
reaching out to different people
I
and
had
wanted
this-
to write with them.
I had this. No, it was trickier than that. I had this. I had this thought because I had. I think I had 2 other bands between that and then us getting back in the studio to do something, and I kind of dropped the bands completely because of various reasons. And then I was like, okay, concentrate on production work. But I always have this, in Greece we call it a bug. Like you have a bug, we actually call it a microbe. You have the microbe of art. Like you cannot sit on your ass and just not do anything. And that's what I always did. It was like me on the synthesizer and there was a singer, or at some point in the past there were more people in the band. And I was thinking, who can I...
Who did I find through Star Now that
Like,
time?
who-
I
who can
really
I- who
enjoyed
can I
working
drag
with.
into this? And the funny
Drag
thing
into
is,
this, I like that. Who can I drag into
And the
dreams?
funny thing is, don't take this the wrong way, I never thought of Joe about this because I was like, oh, Joe does this. It's more indie, more guitar based. Even the songs, are written in a way that it makes sense to be produced that way. But then I always think that a good songwriter is a good songwriter. And you are a good songwriter. And a good song could be anything. It's like a good song like even a Led Zeppelin song that is raw. If you play it on the piano, it still makes sense because it's a good song. So I was like, why does it matter? Like where it's coming from and what is the only thing that matters is if you would like something like that and if you're up and all that. So I was like, oh, let's do a collab, and that was an electronic song. So I think again I told you send me something you've written or I sent you the
No,
track.
you sent me the track,
Yeah, I sent
and I
you
wrote to the track. And I remember being like, but I don't think I don't think I can do this, but I will try. Like if I'll do, I'll listen, I'll write what I get inspired to write.
Style.
But I was really like, this is gonna be shit. He's gonna hear this and like, okay, well that was fun, and then never wanna do it again. And then you kind of liked it.
Yeah, I did. And I finished it and everything. I was like, checking boxes. This is good. She did well. She did it quickly.
It's like I'm in a test.
She did it. She didn't complain. There was no drama, and all that kind of stuff. And then I was like, maybe I should do a band thing with Joe. And then I told her one day, without any context, I'm like, do you want to come over, dress up, and just film ourselves singing that thing we wrote? Which for me, I was like, okay, we sound good. I want to see if we look good. If there's like
Right.
chemistry, but I didn't tell you any of it.
Yeah.
Because maybe you would be anxious or maybe it would sound weird. And we did that.
It's the latter.
So we did that and we filmed it. And then I was like, oh, this does look good. So then I went on my knees and popped the question.
Yeah.
Like,
Wonderful.
do you want to have a band with me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to collab and do
And I
something?
was like,
And you were like, yeah, whatever.
I was like,
ain't doing anything.
yeah, I was like, as long as you're okay with me still writing with Rickaby, and you were like, yeah, I'm still gonna write with other people. I was like, good. I don't see why.
Yeah.
So you
Why
said
not?
you said yourself, when you work with Joe, when you say your work outside of Asteroid Lily is more indie, guitar based, ballady.
I would just say it's like generic
So-
pop.
Generic pop. So the question is really, what did you always like electronic music, or is that influenced by your collab?
Definitely influenced by collab.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't really.
I don't really listen to electro pop.
Okay.
I like our songs.
There you go. Asteroid Lily is her favorite electropop band. Because it's the first one
It's the first one I've listened
discovered.
to.
But that I find this a good thing,
Sure.
that you have someone in a band who comes from a completely different background, and they're not recycling electropop because they've been listening to electropop. So just like my background is completely different. I come from heavy metal and classical music.
Right.
So when you have a different background and you like musical theater and pop and
Yeah.
what else?
No, that's it.
So you can cheat a lot.
Yeah.
You can hide a lot under that because it's not the same. It's not the same context. It's not the same recipe, and it's good. You can think outside the box. Your ideas can be like fresher. Even if I'm doing electropop, I won't think of a melody in the way Joe would, because the way I understand it, when you're writing a song, you're writing a song. Like, la 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 la. There's a story. There's no. Do you have any specific, like this is a ballad or this is a piano song or this is a?
No, it's usually story and melody.
Yeah.
Like you said. Yeah.
So that's very moldable.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Moldable.
And I mean it in the best possible
Of
way,
course,
you know?
yeah. So you write the lyrics mainly?
Entirely.
Yeah.
Entirely.
It's all her.
So what influences your writing?
I mean, so we do, there's two different ways that we write songs. You'll send over a track, I'll listen to it, and I'll be like, usually walking to work, I just try and like kind of brainwash myself with the song, and it kind of depends, like, what I'm thinking about. It's like weird, like sometimes you get like, oh, this is an interesting story. Like we talked about earlier before the recording, like you're an actor. I love acting. I love telling people stories. So I'm very much into like, especially like people watching like, oh, that's an interesting character. That's an interesting story.
Yeah.
So it's more like I'll listen to yours and then I'll be like, oh, this is a story or this is a love story, and kind of just start singing to the track. Weirdly. So that's one way we do it. And then I'll put the music on the laptop and I'll record on my phone and be like, la, da, 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 send it over and be like, what are you thinking? And then we move from there. And
So do you kind of hum to it first?
yeah.
And then eventually write words to it?
Yeah, I mean, you and I literally put it on and just started singing and I was like, you and I. And like literally it was like,
Okay.
I don't know. Sounds weird. So that's one way. If you send me something,
Yeah.
and then the other side is if you haven't sent me something, I sometimes have melodies.
Yes. She has a cache of songs.
Yeah,
A little treasure chest.
which I'll go
Yeah.
and then I'll send them to you without
Yeah.
context. And you'll be like, oh.
And it's literally an a cappella thing on a WhatsApp.
Yeah, because I don't play an instrument, so it's just a voice.
Yeah. And you and I, actually, that you brought up, it's really interesting because when I heard the song, I thought it's really great, and what a lovely first track to. It was the first track.
Yes.
It's all first we released, yeah.
For me, the title, I thought that's a great title for a first track, You and I. And then I listened to the lyrics and I read what you wrote about, so I'm like, oh, it's not about them at all.
Oh yeah, it's not about us.
No.
Oh god.
But initially I thought, oh,
yeah.
it is. So
I
you
didn't
kind
think
of,
about that.
but in a funny odd way, you drew me in. So I'm
Mm.
just thinking it's always interesting what draws your audience in and what doesn't.
Sometimes that's why it's good for people to have their own interpretation of whatever you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that has happened to me with bands I love. Like I have picked up a few words, but usually I'm like immersed in the music,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, oh, what's it? Oh, that's what it is. And sometimes it's a disappointment because I have built such a story in my head about what it is.
Yeah, I don't really like explaining to people what a song's about.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's up to
But
you
I
what it's
did
about.
like that one when you explained it to me because I was like, oh wow, like that is.
I
Yeah.
tell you, but I won't tell the world.
Yes, and sometimes it helps. Like if you know there's some kind of sci-fi cosmic context.
Yeah.
To it.
And just to explain, You and I is kind of inspired from Doctor Who you wrote.
Yeah.
You wrote it on Bandcamp. That's why I know.
You wrote it on Bandcamp.
You wrote it on Bandcamp.
You
Oh
outed
no, it's out the bag.
You did, and I
Oh, okay.
I
You
copied.
asked me to write, and I. Damn it.
show me all of the ways that you know you will never ever hear me say goodbye. We took a walk into space and we looked down at the earth and we saw it face. We were gonna fly so far and never heavy planets apart, but we only got into my We took a walk into space and we looked down at the earth and saw her face. And I swear she smiled. And I said she's mine. We took a walk into space and we looked down at the earth and we saw her face. We were gonna fly so far and never every planet's heart, but we only got into my heart. We took a walk into space and we looked down at the earth and saw her face. And I swear she's mine. And I swear she's mine. The quirkiness comes through because, isn't it, with an artist and a band, you want to get a feel of the personality.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing the writing, that quirkiness comes through. And I will say, you definitely match it in the video. You definitely have a cheeky eyes going on. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure you've been told. You look very, very serious on the other side, and she's
Yeah. And I know I want to.
like. But I would say it complements each other. So it's a compliment.
Thank you very
It's a
much.
compliment. Definitely a compliment. So when it comes to you guys met the way you met, and you decided to work together and collab. So how long has it been since you really started as Asteroid Lily?
This is the second year.
Second year.
But in the sense, like in my head, I started counting when we wrote the first song.
Yeah.
Like before that, you may do some planning, sit around, what are we actually doing, how are we doing, and all that. And we kind of spent almost a year writing songs in a very relaxed way, because I was thinking, if we do this work now, can I swear?
Yeah.
Yeah, then next year we won't have to do fuck all,
Yeah.
We can do gigs, we can think of costumes, we can put concepts together. If we have at least 4 or 5 tracks, we are not in the whole race, you have to release 1 track every month. Fuck that. I'm going to be saying fuck all the time just because I can.
That's fine.
So yeah, we did that work. So, we were like creatively active.
Mm.
But I don't even know if we had an Instagram, which is funny because we were talking earlier about that. Like you can have an Instagram and if you do, you exist.
I think you created one.
Yes, I
But
think I followed
didn't
my own.
Post, like we were kind of like, we have it, and then you were like, I have a plan. Show
Yes.
me a page, and then we'll drop this, we'll do that. And I was like,
Yeah.
We'll do what you said.
It's definitely a learning curve, isn't it? Because these days, as a creative, you need to be able to do everything. Which we don't know how to do everything. We don't have time necessarily to do everything. But having a plan definitely works, so well done you. You got together and you had to think of a name. Where did it come from?
I feel like it came from you. We were spitballing a lot, and we were like, I remember being like, sending you my middle names and my last name. Like, do we do something with that?
Yes, he was thinking of anagrams and
Yeah.
using but our names couldn't really produce. anything
Anything
like
decent.
band name worth it.
we tried, but
Yeah.
it just didn't. Yeah, and then you definitely came up with Asteroid Lily, but I remember you asking because you liked it that it's a name, that it's also a flower, and it's Asteroid.
The idea. Do you know this band called Greta Van Fleet? There's a rock band called Greta Van Fleet, but then I was like, why are they called Greta Van Fleet? Is there some Dutch woman? There's no woman in the band, and I was like, it's cool to have for a band name a girl's name, because I never thought of the flower lily. I thought of a girl, and because I always liked Milky Way, cosmic, nebula, shit, all that kind of stuff. I just sit down and was like, okay, in one column I have words associated with the cosmos, and on the other column I have
My favorite flowers.
girl names. And
Girl
that
names.
was very embarrassing browser history, because you know these websites, New Mommy or whatever, and they're looking for girls' names.
Yeah.
And then I said to Joe, do you have a favorite? Like what would you
What
do?
shall we put together?
Yeah, would you do like Meteor Sally or this and that? And then Asteroid Lily, it also happens to be the flower, and I didn't think of that. But then I was like,
Oh, I thought that's why you chose it.
I didn't know. Then you told me Lily is a flower, and then a flower on an asteroid, for me that's the Little Prince, for example.
But on that note of culture, I think everyone will hear from accents. We're not necessarily from London. Either of you, are you?
No.
No, even from the island. But you always pass for English.
No, people think
No.
I'm Australian or New Zealand.
Australian.
Oh, literally.
Australian.
Australian, yeah.
Australian.
Yeah, literally get. Oh,
And then you tell them, no, I'm from
Sweden. Yay.
Abba.
Yeah.
And
Max Martin.
yes, in Max Martin. Yes.
And your good self.
I'm from Greece.
Fantastic. Okay. So, did you do music in your own countries before you came to the UK? Or is it something you've always
You
done
mean
here?
education-wise, or like bands and stuff, or
Let's have both.
everything? Go on.
Well, I didn't. Well, I did. I studied musical theatre.
Right.
So I didn't know I could write music, because I always thought you need to know an instrument to write music. That was like my kind of headspace.
Yeah.
Studied musical theatre. Actually moved to London to pursue musical theatre, but I moved 2019. Then 2020 happened. We all know.
We all know what happened.
Yeah. So I went into lockdown and then started writing poems.
Mm.
And then kind of, yeah, that's kind of how I went into writing music. Like, I've always written music, but not really taken it seriously, because I'm like, well, I'm just singing la 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 la, and like I can't do anything with it, which is kind of fair, because I do need a partner in crime.
But why would you think did you ever think you can't actually do it?
I kind of thought you need to know an instrument to write music.
Is it because in musical theatre they treat you like furniture?
Yeah, and I don't know why. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that when I was singing the lyrics, I'm literally creating melodies, because I would not be able to write them down. I don't know what it like note-wise, even though I have sung in choirs. I know notes are. I don't know what
who
notes
cares
they
if
are.
you can sing it?
But because I've created them, they are there.
Yeah.
So I have written music
You have
without writing it.
a lot, actually.
Yeah. That's my story. So, yes, I have not done my own music in Sweden, but we might this summer.
Yes.
You might this summer.
We're
Do tell.
we're planning on
We have evil
evil plans
plans
to maybe
to go to Sweden and maybe
do a gig.
yeah,
Yeah.
with the dancer on stage.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's
Yeah.
in the
That's
planning
nice.
stage.
But I think it was probably the first time we thought about doing something a bit more ambitious, or like beyond the scope of this is a band. It's two people on stage. We're doing that. Yes, you could have lights. Yes, you could have costumes, etc., etc. But it's easy to feel like this is all you can do when you're starting out. Because what are you going to do? You're going to play a pub. They all look the same. There's a lot of rock. You might be squeezed in between. It's easy not to think in fancier terms.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we could have fucking fire on the stage, or this or that, which you should. Everyone should, you know. And because we happen to know people who, you know, have other talents than ours, why not, you know?
Yeah, combine and do something different.
Yeah.
All right. So the rest of this year, it's about gigging. Finishing that EP, as it were, 5 songs.
We
Is that
have
the plan?
We have songs to release in a lazy-ish way. I think when we get to around 7 or 8, we might as well put them in an album, you know. But it makes generally no sense to release an album when you're starting out because it's difficult to promote, etc., etc., etc. Like it might really get lost. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm pretty sure you're also precious about songs. I never thought of it like, you know, sometimes people get in the studio like, oh, let's write 50 songs and we're going to choose 8. I'm like, why? How about we don't? How about we put everything we got into writing? How many do you need? 8. Let's write 8 songs and make sure they're absolutely awesome, at least for everyone. You know?
I feel that comes from experience, your attitude towards how to release, what to write, and how to do. What experience?
Experience of making a lot of mistakes, by the way.
Right. Yeah. So is this as a solo artist, or being in bands before, or as a music producer watching others and learning from their mistakes?
Both. Like when the first time I had a band in London, it was basically me doing all the music and writing the songs, etc., etc. And then there were 3 singers, and eventually there was a bass player. But it was, you know, it could be seen as a vanity project, and I wouldn't blame anyone if they saw it like that. And I realized very simple things that if you can't pay these people, you have to motivate them in different ways. And thankfully, these people are singers and they need production, so I can work for them for free, you know, to make it a fair deal and all that kind of stuff. And I did release an album in 2016. So what? You know, and that so what was like, it's good to get some things out of your system. Because the first time you release something and you see it there, and I'm old enough to remember the CD, so I have released CDs with a band. We had to find a factory to press it. I had boxes of 1,000 CDs in my, you know, and all that, and it's amazing, you know, like a few bands, and you know, it's nice, and you have a booklet and the thanks section and all that kind of stuff. And then cynicism kicks in, and you're like, yes, but what? So it's good to get things out of the system, and that's what I always say to people who come to work with me when it's their first song. Oh, I need to do this, and I need to do that, and A person did this, B person is talking about Feng Shui. I'm like, now, hold your horses. Unless A and B person are signed to Sony, they have like people shoveling money behind them. So don't overthink it. Finish the fucking song, release it. This is a very cruel thing to say, but the thing you need to understand is that after you release your first ever song, as soon as you do that and you're like, the world is still turning and people still go to their jobs in the morning, and somewhere there is war and somewhere there is peace, etc., etc. So you need to understand that, okay, that it wasn't that scary after all, you know, and what's the intention? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And if you figure out why, like realistically why you're doing this, then you can figure out how, and then the business part comes in, etc., etc.
So what's Asteroid Lily's why?
I don't know, do we have the same one? Do we have a collective why? Why? This is my imaginary mind. Why did you do it?
I didn't realize that I liked writing music, and now I really do love writing
You know
music.
it.
I like I said, I come from musical theatre. I love storytelling. I also kind of like being like, I love doing the Jo stuff, but that's my name. I love that this is like Asteroid Lily. It's like something. It's almost like playing a little role, but not really. Like, I don't know. I love.
That is cool.
Yeah, I
Do
just.
you think you could play yourself in your other band? Like entirely?
No, I definitely don't. I mean, you did. That's a good question. I think you are always yourself, but you show different versions of yourself. Like how I'm myself. Well, I work in a pub, but obviously I'm not the same way there as I am on stage. Like, it's all still me, but it's...
I mean, we all have different facets of ourselves anyway. But I guess what you're saying is that your why is you just love the creativity.
I just love the
in many different
creativity.
forms.
Exactly.
And you keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
Whatever happens with it happens.
I think you summed it up. Yeah. Listen to what she said. That's my answer. Cool.
If you can say if you can say to yourself that I would still do it if I knew there is absolutely no chance of this becoming a job or success, but I would still do it out of love of doing it, then yeah, I guess it's because you like it, you know.
But if you come back for more, it means that you enjoy the storytelling. You enjoy, that it. Sometimes it's a cliche, isn't it? When people say if you reach one person, but
oh my God,
I've been there.
It's so true, though.
Yeah, I've been there, and I have reached, and it's an amazing feeling.
I mean, it literally is. Like, we had when we went to Sheffield. We don't know anyone in Sheffield. Like, no one, never been before. But it was, anyway.
Come and see us in Sheffield.
I know, so random, right? And then this guy in the audience, who neither of us knew our song and was singing along, and we were like, I was like, I'm famous. This is crazy.
He was singing the lyrics you wrote.
Yeah, he was singing my lyrics, and I was like, literally texting my family. I was like, I've made it, guys.
Did you?
Yes, of course I did.
That's so cute.
Because that's reaching one guy, but like, he doesn't know me. He doesn't have to do it. He's not my mum being like, you're amazing.
Yeah.
I mean,
it actually has so
but
much
it's
more
like,
value.
it's really like just a random person who doesn't have to be nice to me. It's not doing it because he's my friend. He just likes my song and has learnt my lyrics. And I was like, cool, I'm famous. I made it.
No, this is fantastic, and I love the idea that you're planning for the summer. To me, it also means you're not just a duo who are putting music out there. You're a creative duo who are always going to look for new ways of bringing the art to us, including your dress, which we will see in a moment, standing up and performing. And if people want to look back on your Instagram, they will see it there as well. It's gorgeous, it's lovely, it's making us all jealous. And made you put your jacket on, let's just be honest about that. And made me feel very underdressed. So it's really exciting to see what you guys will bring us in the future. So I would say keep following. But before we go, and this is for you to go and get ready to perform, exciting. One of the questions I usually ask with bands is when you get together, who's on time and who's normally late?
Which is why I made a comment earlier, like, oh, she's already answered the question, I'm going to ask later.
But it might not be all the time, Jules, so I don't know, you tell me.
Well, we're usually...
Yes.
No,
go on.
I'm so annoying because I hate being late. I literally hate being late. The older I've gotten and the more my life is kind of not organised. I work in a pub where we get rotas, a week in advance. Just answer the question. I've become less organised, and I guess
You become less organised the older you get.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I used to be so organised.
Because you had nothing going on.
No, because no. But I mean, it's easier. No, I used to be really organised. My parents can testify. You better.
So what happened?
But I don't know.
She met you.
I met you, but then you're like the most organised person I know. Maybe that's it. I'm letting my hair down.
I love the reverse cliche because the Greek guy is always on time. And the Swedish isn't. But
yeah.
it's
the
it's
cliche is
my-
that I would be on time and you
and I would be in Spanish time or Mediterranean time,
Yeah.
as they say. But I'm a sound engineer before anything else, and a music producer. So that is where the square, like you have to be, like you said earlier. If I could afford having double everything, I would. And always 10 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier. Like it can't hurt anyone.
There you go.
But I'm not pointing any fingers. So I'm putting down any judge.
Now, moving on to the next question. When you do get together and you work on your music, what fuels you? What do you eat and what do you drink?
Oh, like literally.
Literally. I mean, I don't know, maybe you only meet for an hour and you don't meet anything.
Can I
I'm sure you meet
say
for a
I'm
couple.
usually a bit healthier than.
Oh yeah. I always have a chocolate bar in my. Always have chocolate.
Which chocolate bar?
Oh, it depends.
You
Send me a picture later.
I'll send you
a
Send me a
picture.
picture
They're
later
fucking
and I'll put it
They're
into the
really
video.
good. They're really good.
Sponsored that.
Sponsored. I think anything with peanut butter, like anything with.
I was going to say,
yeah,
I feel like
the
so you like
films
Reese
and that.
chocolate. for example.
Yeah, definitely it would be a Reese chocolate.
Great for the throat.
yeah. Best thing ever.
But you're.
What are you?
Yeah, but that's not fair because I have my studio at my place. So because it is my place and I live there, I have probably cooked something. So it's homemade food usually.
Yeah, but even if the studio was in my
But today I
place,
brought fucking potato wedges from Greg's. So
but you are very healthy.
I try.
No, he is.
I'm also much older than you.
So I have time to become healthy. Is that what you're saying?
No, it's like I should build healthily towards
I think I should.
my old age. That's the whole point.
No, I
we'll give you
appreciate
that.
it because you do cook for me.
Yeah,
Aw.
So it's very nice.
every now and then. Yes.
Yeah, we'll finish a session and you'll be like, then you need food. Let's
And what's his best dish?
wait, you're vegetarian?
Mhm.
I'm not. But I love vegetarian food. But usually it's some halloumi. It's a random mix of like halloumi, potatoes, salad,
Basically,
olive
whatever.
oil. Always olive
Always
oil.
olive oil, yeah.
Always olive
He
oil.
is Greek.
Yeah. It's just kind of a whatever you have at
To
home.
someone who is a meat eater, it looks like, oh, you just put some random shit together.
Yeah.
But that's what vegetarian food is.
Yes.
Because you never had meat in the spotlight. Yeah, food and tea during rehearsals and
Food and tea.
and
English tea, herbal tea.
You've got
Specific-
voices.
I like my black tea.
Yeah.
Really?
It
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
It doesn't even have milk in it.
It's I up to a certain.
You don't even have milk in it.
No, fuck that. I'm not going to my tea.
Very non-English.
Yeah. The first time
Very
I ordered
non-English.
tea, someone was like, "This is so racist." Someone was like, "Oh, would you like milk with it?" I'm like, "You put milk in your tea? That's so uncivilized." I'm like, "Why are you doing
The
this?"
thing is, I can't drink tea without milk, and the
Oh, wow.
reason is, growing up, I don't know about you, I don't know how it is in Sweden, but my mum only gave me black tea when I was ill.
To like,
So yeah, so that's
You just associate
that's the
it.
association I
Yeah.
have with black
okay.
tea, illness.
If I'm not ill.
For me, that's chamomile. In Greece, if you intentionally drink chamomile, if you order it, so I'm like,
Are you okay?
yeah, I just want to drink it because I like it.
Chamomile tea.
Yeah.
I see. So what is it in Sweden? What do you drink when you're ill? Is this one of the topic?
Oh God, when you're ill. I mean, we're not really a tea country. We're more a coffee country. But you don't drink coffee when you're ill. I mean, my mum would be like, when you had a bad stomach, she'd give you like Coca-Cola.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, Coca-Cola.
Well, it is.
And always like
Nice
ice cream and biscuits. It was the best when you were ill because you always got like
Ice cream.
I screwed my biscuits for a bad
I
time.
love your mum. She actually, that reminds me of my husband's mum. because when my daughter was really little, and she just one summer she just kept giving her ice cream, and ice cream. I said, enough, enough with the ice cream. She went, why? It's only milk and tubs of sugar. So that's your future with your mother. Giving your little babies in the future lots of ice cream. And you'll be like, Mom, she'll be like, it's just milk.
I love that. So old
They
school.
need milk. They're
So
growing.
cool. I love it.
Yeah,
Basically
exactly.
the same thing.
Same thing. So tell me, Asteroid Lily, what songs are we going to get?
A song that we haven't released yet, but
Oh.
we really like playing. This is called Where the Birds Fly.
Is that actually the
That's
title?
very exciting.
It's the working title.
It's the working title.
You're playing us a working title song.
Yes.
I am honoured. We are honoured.
We're
We're all
honoured,
honoured.
yeah.
Thank you so much. So we'll switch off the cameras,
Yes.
and get ready, and change angles and all that. And
It's called Where the Birds Fly.
thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for
Miss-
coming down.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's great. And really, honestly, thank you for having me.
and being part of Miss GFO behind the playlist, and it will grow and grow and grow. And who knows, we may meet again next year for an extension of what's happened.
And we might come over to Brighton to play.